The movie opens with the story of the Monkey King, a mighty figure who once angered the gods with his mischievous antics, including something as absurd as urinating on a sacred stone. As punishment, the gods imprisoned him within a stone. Thousands of years passed, and the Monkey King remained trapped until a kind master felt sorry for him and used magic to set him free. After gaining his freedom, the Monkey King started a new life alongside his two close friends, Baji and Sandy. Together, they faced many demons, defeating them easily. However, their greatest challenge came when they encountered the Demon King, a powerful foe who had grown even stronger by using the energy of a mysterious secret scroll. In a fierce battle, the Monkey King used his magical staff to break one of the Demon King's horns and defeat him. He then chained and sealed the Demon King inside an enchanted cave. With the evil subdued, peace returned to the world. Over time, Sandy and the Monkey King were said to have died, while Baji disappeared into the shadows. Fast forward to the present day, we are introduced to a museum in New York that houses relics from the Monkey King and the Demon King, including the legendary secret scroll that once gave the Demon King his power. A staff member on duty prepares to call it a day when suddenly 3 followers of the Demon King sneak into the museum to steal the scroll. The staff member gets so terrified that he passes out, and one of the followers puts on his NY cap. Moving on to their real motive, the 3 followers steal the secret scroll. They also find the Monkey King's magical stick but are unable to lift it, so they leave it behind. The scene shifts to the Sichuan Zoo in China, where a group of yellow-furred monkeys play inside their enclosure. Among them is our little hero, Sunny, who loves to show off how smart and strong he is. During Tai Chi class, Sunny's master reminds him that mastering Tai Chi requires both power and balance. Determined to prove himself, Sunny attempts to lift a log but fails miserably, accidentally letting out a fart in the process. This cracks up his friends, leaving him feeling totally embarrassed. Sunny, who idolizes the Monkey King and dreams of becoming as strong and brave as him, decides to showcase his daring side by walking across a rope. But midway, he loses his balance and tumbles to the ground. He also injures his hand in the process. Just then, Gugu, a zookeeper, who is a close friend of Sunny, notices the injury and bandages it. She gently scolds him for taking such risks. Their conversation is interrupted by the zoo owner, who scolds Gugu harshly for wasting time talking instead of working. Sunny feels sad and helpless as he watches his friend being insulted. That night, Sunny sits in a branch and genuinely wishes he had the Monkey King's powers so he could protect his friend. He'd finally be famous, and his friends, especially Gugu, would see him for who he truly is. Meanwhile, Gugu is working late at the office, courtesy of her demanding boss. As she focuses on her paperwork, a faint gust of wind scatters her files. Before she can react, 3 demons appear out of nowhere and abduct her. They believe she looks exactly like the master who freed the Monkey King long ago, and might hold the key to their plans. The next day, Sunny waits for Gugu to come and feed him, but she doesn't show up. He then assumes the zoo owner must have fired her after their argument last night. When another zookeeper shows up, Sunny manages to distract him with his playful antics and steals the keys during the process. He then sneaks into Gugu's office and finds all of her belongings still there, but she is nowhere to be found. Then, Sunny notices her laptop left open and sees photos of her being kidnapped. Turns out the laptop's camera was accidentally on during the incident. Seeing this, Sunny becomes anxious and wonders how to save her. While looking around, he spots a cap lying on the ground with a New York logo. Realizing this might be a clue, Sunny decides to go to New York to rescue Gugu. Acting smartly, he hides among stuffed toy monkeys being transported out of the zoo and manages to escape. He then hops into the truck en route to the airport. Upon arrival, he swiftly jumps inside one of the luggage and boards the plane. In New York, Sunny stirs up chaos as people freak out, thinking there's a wild monkey on the loose. He manages to grab a hot dog while NYPD officer Sandy chases him in the busy streets. Thankfully, Sunny manages to escape and eventually reach a temple. Just as he is about to take a bite of his hot dog, a strange voice echoes from within the statue of the god. The voice asks what he's doing in such a sacred place and what his intentions are. Nervous, Sunny admits he's just searching for his friend. At that moment, Baji, one of the Monkey King's old companions, steps out from behind and reveals he was the voice all along. Just then, Officer Sandy shows up at the temple, and Baji quickly pretends to be a wandering pig, hiding Sunny behind him. The officer leaves and Sunny tells Baji about his friend's kidnapping and shows him the cap. He explains that one of the kidnappers was wearing it, Baji examines the cap, smells it, and recognizes it belongs to the Demon King's followers. He reveals that the Demon King, who was imprisoned long ago, might now be hiding somewhere in New York. He also suspects that the Demon King's followers might have stolen the sacred scroll, the key to abundance power. Hearing this, Sunny becomes even more determined, saying he knows the stories of the Demon King, including how the Monkey King broke one of his horns and sealed him inside a cave, but didn't completely destroy him. Baji confirms the stories and shares that he witnessed those events himself. Sunny realizes Baji is a companion of the Monkey King and asks for his help. Baji agrees, and the two set off to find Gugu and stop the Demon King. On their journey, Baji explains that if they can find the Demon King's broken horns, they can use them to track his location. He knows where one piece of the horn is and leads Sunny to a castle inside Central Park to retrieve it. While on their way, Sunny expresses a desire to learn fighting skills like the Monkey King. To test his determination, Baji challenges Sunny to climb a tree and jump down from it. Sunny tries but fails miserably. Baji then gives him a magical hair from the divine spider Monkey King, telling him to keep it safe as it can help him in times of need. He further lectures that trusting oneself is the ultimate key to reaching one's full potential. Baji also points out that Sunny doesn't believe in himself, thus he is unable to tap into his true self. Acknowledging Baji's wise words, Sunny ties the magical hair around his wrist and attempts the jump again, but he still falls. Baji continues to encourage the little monkey, saying he must first believe in himself to succeed. He then begins training Sunny to improve his skills. Meanwhile, two of the Demon King's spies, including a gutter rat and a massive bat, secretly watch them. The scene then shifts underground, where the Demon King is holding Gugu captive. He forces her to read the magical secret scroll that his followers stole from the museum in New York. As she reads it, the scroll's magic activates, giving the Demon King incredible power and making him stronger than ever. Just then, the massive bat appears and informs the Demon King about Sunny and Baji, who are on their way to rescue Gugu. Furious, the Demon King sends one of his followers to stop and kill them. In the meantime, Sunny and Baji arrive at the park and head to the castle. There, they see a beautiful tree blossoming with pink leaves. Sunny asks Baji to use his magical powers to track down the horn pieces, but Baji tells him that magic should only be used when absolutely necessary. Just then, he senses something, so he orders Sunny to check the top of the tree. Wasting no time, the frisky little monkey climbs up and finds the first part of the horn. A massive storm suddenly breaks out and the wind demon appears in front of them. Unfortunately, Baji becomes trapped in the storm, while Sunny struggles to escape by climbing a wall. As he climbs, large stones begin falling from the sky. Thankfully, the magical hair tied around his wrist, which Baji had given earlier, activates and protects him. The stones freeze mid-air, allowing Sunny to use them as stepping stones to climb higher. Once he escapes, the stones fall back to the ground, hitting the wind demon and scaring him away. Sunny is overjoyed at his newfound strength, and both he and Baji realize that the piece of the Demon King's horn they already have is pointing them toward the location of another piece. To reach their destination faster, they hitch a ride on a truck. During the journey, Baji gives Sunny another magical hair from a giant gorilla and instructs him to imagine himself as one. Sunny follows the instructions and transforms into a huge gorilla. When the truck driver returns and sees the gigantic animal, he becomes terrified and runs away. In the next scene, the horn leads Sunny and Baji to the Chrysler building, where the second piece is hidden. As Sunny climbs the building, another demon sent by the Demon King appears to attack them. Our little monkey then transforms into the massive gorilla again and fights back, using his strength and a stick to defeat the demon and throw it off. With the second piece of the horn in hand, Sunny climbs down and prepares to search for the final piece. The next day, however, as Sunny and Baji are searching for the piece, Officer Sandy catches them and takes them back to the zoo. He tells them that this is New York and there is absolutely no place for wild animals to stroll around. Once they're locked up, a group of brown-furred monkeys approaches Sunny, amazed by his yellow fur which they've never seen before. Sunny explains he came all the way from China to find his dear friend. Just then, Baji, locked in another cell, tells Sunny that the two horn pieces reveal the third and final piece is attached to an elephant's tusk. In the meantime, the Demon King urges Gugu to read more of the secret scroll. When she refuses to do so, he offers her rewards like noodle soup for her whole life, a makeup kit, and an extravagant Macau trip. Gugu isn't convinced, so she refuses to help him again. Back at the zoo, Sunny tries to talk with the elephant that has the final piece. However, before he can retrieve it, the Demon King sends more minions to fight them, including a powerful fire demon. This time, Baji gives Sunny another strand of magical hair that once belonged to a howler monkey. Using the magical hair, Sunny tries to fight off the demons, but is outnumbered. Thankfully, the elephant with the final piece showers water on the fire demon, causing it to retreat for a moment. Sunny then transforms into the gorilla once more and swiftly defeats the enemies. After defeating the demons, Sunny and Baji retrieve the third piece of the Demon King's horn, which was attached to the elephant's tusk. With all three pieces combined, the horn reveals the Demon King's location. Since Baji doesn't have his scooter, they dress up as a man and follow the signal. They then come across an underground system where the horn signal is peak and hop inside it. In the next scene, the duo continues to follow through and eventually comes upon the Demon King's underground lair. Surprisingly, they find everyone asleep. They then take advantage of the situation and Sunny jumps below to the lair to save his friend. Seeing her captive, he transforms himself into the massive gorilla and breaks the chains. After transforming back to his normal self, he shares a warm hug with Gugu as they finally reunite. However, as they prepare to leave, Sunny notices a gold crown. He insists on taking the crown, hoping to show it to his friends and family at the zoo to prove his accomplishments. Baji advises against it, saying leaders don't need to show off, but Sunny refuses to listen. Instead, he accuses Baji of being jealous. This deeply hurts Baji, prompting him to leave silently. Ignoring the warnings, Sunny goes to grab the crown. The moment he touches it, a cage falls and traps him. The loud noise then wakes up all the demons in the cave. In the chaos, the demons recapture Gugu and take the horn pieces to the Demon King, restoring his full powers. Now, the Demon King becomes even more powerful than before. He cleverly reveals that everything was planned by him. Turns out, he sent his minions to the zoo so that Sunny and Baji would be led right into his lair. Determined to fight back, Sunny tries to use the magical hairs Baji gave him to transform into the gorilla once again and fight the Demon King. Despite his efforts, Sunny's powers are no match for the powerful Demon King. Worse, the Demon King takes the remaining hairs and gives them to his followers, which makes them even stronger. Exhausted and powerless, Sunny turns back into a small monkey. The demons then tie him to train tracks, planning to kill him. Meanwhile, Gugu pleads with the Demon King to spare Sunny, but the Demon King tricks her. He tells her to read the secret scroll once more to save her monkey. Reluctantly, she reads the magical spells. As she does, the ground in New York begins to shake, and the Demon King, who was once chained and imprisoned by the Monkey King, fully regains his freedom. Now unstoppable, the Demon King plans to unleash chaos in New York. After deceiving the girl, he leaves with his followers while abandoning Sunny on the tracks. Just as the train is about to hit him, Baji arrives and rescues him. Touched by Baji's selflessness, Sunny apologizes for his rude remarks earlier. The wise Baji forgives him, and they decide to work together once again. Meanwhile, Officer Sandy is at the police station conducting research. He discovers that in his previous life, he was one of the partners of the Monkey King. At the same time, Baji and Sunny learn that the Demon King has stopped time in New York for an hour using his powers, giving him free rein to spread chaos. Baji urges Sunny to step up and stop the Demon King, but Sunny feels defeated. He believes he can't fight anymore since the magical hairs were taken away. Baji reassures Sunny, explaining that true strength comes from within. Encouraged by his friend's words, Sunny begins to believe in himself. In the next scene, Baji trains Sunny to fight without relying on external powers. Our smart monkey quickly learns and becomes stronger. Soon, they discover that the Demon King is heading to the museum to carry out his next plan. Sunny insists they go to the museum immediately, but Baji's scooter is missing, leaving them stranded. Just then, Officer Sandy arrives and offers to help. Together, they head to the museum as quickly as possible. In the meantime, the Demon King wreaks havoc in the museum. He kidnaps the mayor and warns everyone that he is going to take over the financial market. This way, the world will be on the tip of his finger. In the ensuing chaos, the museum visitors try to flee in fear. Unfortunately, the Demon King's followers block everyone, ensuring no one leaves the premises. Meanwhile, the Demon King discovers the legendary Monkey King's stick. He tries with all his might to lift the stick but fails miserably. Moments later, Sunny arrives and effortlessly picks up the Monkey King's stick. Armed with the stick, he defeats all three of the Demon King's minions single-handedly. The Demon King is impressed and prepares for a final showdown. He climbs a tall building while taking New York's mayor and Gugu as hostages. Determined to save them, Sonny advances to face the Demon King along with his loyal friends Baji and Officer Sandy. However, the Demon King proves incredibly powerful and severely injures Baji. Enraged, Sonny grabs the Monkey King's stick and channels all its powers. He then miraculously transforms into the Monkey King himself. In his new and powerful form, Sonny fiercely attacks the Demon King and breaks its horn once again. Consequently, the Demon King is stripped of his powers and falls to the ground. Sonny then buries him beneath and finally destroys him for good. With the battle over, Sonny quickly rushes to Baji, who lies injured. Before taking his last breath, Baji tells Sonny that he is the true Monkey King. He explains that Sonny could easily wield the magical stick because he is the reincarnation of the Monkey King. This was something Baji had realized from the moment they met. With these words, he sadly passes away. A few days later, Sonny, having completed his mission and saved Gugu, returns to the zoo. He shares his experience with his friends and earns their praises. Sonny also shows off his moves in Tai Chi class. Meanwhile, it is revealed that Baji has been reborn as a small pig. The story ends on a cheerful note, with Sonny finding his groove again and having a fun dance party with his friends.